it's almost open. So there you go, some juice. And we have some coconut for today's episode of Caioman's Garden Kitchen. I'm gonna be using some coconut meat. Okay. Hi, today we're going to make coconut meat steak. Okay, so this is it's similar to the beef steak or pork steak, but instead of meat we're going to be using coconut meat. So this recipe was inspired by Lakbay Gulay from their Kwentong Kusina series. So, but we're not going to follow their recipe exactly. So, since I am diabetic and their recipe includes the ingredients include sugar, we're going to make some substitutes. Okay, and then maybe we're going to add, I don't know, some other spices. So for the complete list of ingredients, you can check out the video's description below. But we're gonna go ahead and start now. So initial ingredients that you're going to need is, of course, your coconut meat, freshly harvested. So you have to make sure that the coconut that you're going to use is almost mature, so that you can get more meat. Ideally, the coconut meat should be around 2 to 3 millimeters thick already. Okay, so that makes for more meat. And our next ingredient, we're going to use some garlic, chopped garlic. So I think I used about 8 cloves or 8 to 10 cloves of garlic for this. We're not going to use it all at once, okay? And then, of course, my favorite spice as of late, ground black pepper. I like to use coarsely ground peppercorns. It has more flavor instead of using the sandy like black pepper that's available. So I like to crush my own pepper. And we're going to use some soy sauce, okay, and some cane vinegar. And for the substitute for the sugar, we're going to use some real honey, which is good for diabetics like me, but we're not going to use that much, just enough to have that little sweet aftertaste. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to marinate our coconut meat. We're going to add some soy sauce. So you have to watch the video because I am not very specific with amounts, so you have to see for yourself how much. I'm gonna give you some rough estimate, but so we're gonna pour some, just enough to cover everything. So I'd say this is about 4 to 5 tablespoons. See, then we mix it up like that to coat everything. There, make sure that it's well coated, and then if you remember how much you put, you just put some vinegar, like maybe 1/4 of the amount of soy sauce. So let's just put it here so we can control it. So this is probably 1 tablespoon. Mix it. And then we're gonna add some garlic, probably around 3 cloves, 3 or 4 cloves. So we're gonna use half of what we made. There. Mix it up, and then drizzle your black pepper. See? Okay. So that's about maybe 2 to 3 pinches. If you want to be specific about it. And finally, we're going to drizzle it with some honey. Probably about 1 teaspoon of honey, or 2. So, yep, that's probably 2 teaspoons of honey. Mix it, stir it up, little darling. Okay, so this is going to be your coconut milk marinade. So we're going to leave it for around 30 minutes to 1 hour to marinate. And while it's marinating, we're going to prepare our other ingredients. So see you later. Okay, so it's been an hour, and we're ready to cook our coconut meat. So here is our coconut meat that we marinated. See, it kind of absorbed all the soy sauce and vinegar and honey and black pepper, so, and garlic. So what we're going to do first is we're going to saute some of our garlic. So we're gonna oil our pan using vegetable oil. That's about, say, half a tablespoon or 1 teaspoon, more or less, of oil. So we're gonna wait for the pan to heat up. As usual, we're going to wait for it to have some white smoke going out before we put in our garlic. Okay, so we're going to use the garlic that we chopped earlier. So this is probably around 4 cloves chopped. Okay, we see some white smoke. We can put our garlic in. There. And we're gonna reduce our heat to medium so we don't burn our garlic quickly. And then we chopped some red onions. Just one, I used 1 medium-sized onion. Chopped them like so. So we're gonna add them in there and saute them for a bit until they're a little soft and semi-caramelized. I usually add some black pepper to this, so we're gonna add a dash of black pepper. Okay. And now we're going to add our coconut meat. Make sure you don't include the marinade yet, just the meat, okay? So we're gonna do it like this, slowly. There you go. we're gonna use the marinade later. There you go. Easy. That smells so good. Okay, set that aside, the marinade, and now we're going to just stir fry our coconut meat for a while. There. It's like pretty much the same way how you cook bistek Tagalog, if you're familiar with how that's done. I'm not, so this is like pretty new to me. So we're going to just saute this until you see that some of the marinade that came with the coconut is reduced. There you go. And it's going to dry up a bit. So I'm gonna do this for around 2 to 3 minutes. It smells like the real thing. Very. If this was not buko, you would think that it's actually meat, because the smell is very aromatic. It smells like I just had lunch, but I'm already hungry. Yeah. Okay. And we prepared we fried some dumpling wraps. So we just fried them for added crunch. We're gonna crush it and then add it to our see. Oops. Crush it like so. There. And then we're going to actually I'm gonna add it later. We're going to add some of our marinade first, so that we will have some sauce. Okay, so you don't need to add everything. Well, I guess I'm gonna add everything. More sauce, tastier. See, and the sauce can be very nice to pour over your rice, since this is technically based on a Filipino dish, so it's usually eaten with rice. So you mix it up again, stirring it until it gets to a boil, and then we're going to add a little water to neutralize the saltiness of the marinade mixture. So we're gonna add at least around, for this much, about 1/4 cup. There. Okay. So just wait for it to simmer. Then we're gonna simmer it for about maybe another 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. And then after simmering, I'm gonna reduce it a bit, and then we're going to add lastly our crushed fried dumpling wrap. So I just fried the dumpling wrap very quickly, and then after cooking, put them in a towel so that they won't be soggy. And I seasoned it a bit with a dash of salt. So there. Mm. You know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, I'm sure you already know that when I do episodes, it's usually the first time that I'm trying it. So far it's been good. I haven't had a fail attempt. There. Okay, so been simmering a while. Okay, so now we can add, we're going to take it off the heat, turn off the heat, and then add our crushed dumpling wrap. Just put it on top like that. There. And just mix it up. So this is going to give it an added crunch. We're adding it last so that it won't be too soggy. It won't absorb the sauce too much. So the crunch will be there when we eat it. Okay. So we're ready to plate it. But before we do, we're going to harvest some onion leaves or leeks. I mean, it's more of onion leaves. We're gonna harvest some from the garden. Okay, it's not called Caioman's garden kitchen without a garden. So we're going to plate this later. Just harvest some leeks. Okay. Okay, so now we're ready to plate our coconut meat steak. Okay. So we're going to transfer it here to a plate. It's kind of heavy. There you go. Yes. It really feels like real meat. Okay, so this, and we're going to top it with freshly cut onion leaves from our garden. I'm not sure if this is onion leaves or leeks. This was given to me by my friend Gail from her garden, and I replanted it here. So just cut some like that. One leaf is perfect for, there you go. So that's it. That is our coconut meat steak. So we're going to have it in a while and let you know how it tastes like. Okay, so now we're going to try our coconut meat steak. Okay, get some leeks. Of course, you have to eat it with rice because it's technically a Filipino dish. So, okay. Mm. 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 This is very interesting. It's uh, it's a bit like mushroom, but it's softer. So because it's coconut, doesn't have it has less fiber than mushrooms, but it's like the texture is much like oyster mushrooms. Mm. And the sauce is it's like beef steak or pork steak, but of course it's not animal meat, so it's softer. But the taste, mm. And there's a bit of the crunch from the dumpling wraps that we fried and added. So it adds to the texture of the food. Mm. Mm. Quite good. I would definitely recommend this to all of you who wants to go plant-based. It's most of the ingredients on this recipe are, I guess, more or less vegan. So yeah, except for the honey, it's from bees. So some don't consider honey as vegan since it comes from animals. But with the exception of that, if you're not diabetic, then just use sugar, preferably either coconut sugar or um, brown unrefined sugar, or what you call that, rough um, unrefined sugar. But for diabetics like me, yeah, I prefer uh, honey. So maybe that's why I haven't gone full vegan yet, because of some of the complications of my situation. So, hurry, I can't stop. It's so good. Thank you very much for watching. I'd like to thank my special DOP for today. Thank you for doing this episode with me. And like I always say, mm, should try to live the best life that we can. And